for the people that are just getting into this, how do you structure a video when your goal is to get someone to take action? Do you ask for people to contact you at the end of the video? How do you, or does it naturally pull them in? How does that work?
I think it naturally pulls them in. In the beginning, I didn't even know what a call to action was.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Plumbing and HVAC Hustle Podcast. And today, I have, for the second time on the show, Roger Wakefield. How you doing, sir?
Tim, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing really well. I think this topic of getting leads from YouTube, it requires somebody that knows YouTube well. And you've gotten a lot of business off of YouTube. You've become kind of one of the biggest YouTubers for the trades. And I was kind of just wanted to pick your brain on this topic. If you don't mind giving like a minute background, I know most of the people that are going to watch this are going to know you, but I would love to get a little bit of background about your plumbing background and then now the YouTube thing.
You know, I love it, Tim, and I love what you're doing. I want to start off just say thank you for everything you're doing for the trades and trades companies. But, you know, I'm a plumber, and I tell people all the time, it's like, look, I'm just a plumber. I started plumbing in 1980, and I worked for about 17 years open shop. Then I went into the union and moved up from 97 to 2015. You know, I moved up and grew, and then I started my own company. And when I started my own company, it was residential service. I tried to be union, but the local here in Dallas didn't really support me or help me. And it was tough because I was getting ripped off by marketing companies. So, and I tell people, Tim, imagine driving down the road and throwing $47,000 cash out the window, knowing that when you get to your office, your phone is not going to be ringing. And that's about the situation that I was in. So I decided that I wanted to learn social media. At the age of 54, I go to a social media marketing conference. And at 54, social media is Facebook. And I'm walking down a corridor to go to one of the rooms and sessions about Facebook. And I saw a placard on the left that said, get in front of your customers using video. And I thought, oh my God, we could do video. Never once thinking it would be me in front of the camera. But I go in, I sat down on the front row, and this guy comes out and he starts talking. And one of the first things he says is, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And Tim, I shut my notebook. I thought this guy's stupid. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. YouTube is just where I store my videos. And I put my hand on the chair next to me. I started raising up and turning around to stand up. And I looked at the back of the room, and it was standing room only. So I turned back around. I looked up at the podium in time to hear him say, and YouTube is owned by Google, the largest search engine in the world. Now, even as a plumber, my mind ran really quick. And I thought, you know, we're sending a lot of money to Google. Why aren't we sending money to YouTube? Not realizing that once we started making videos and growing, Google would be sending us money because people are watching our videos. And that was 7 years ago. It was 2018, April the 1st, or the first week of April is when we started putting up planned videos. Now, we had a channel started before then. We had videos on it, but it was just ads and stuff like that. But walking out of that conference, I realized I can take marketing into my own hands. And in that amount of time, I've grown. I do have the largest plumbing YouTube channel in the world. We've started a second YouTube channel now called The Trade Talks, where we talk to all the trades. But it's because of the way we're growing and the views and the comments and all the feedback we were getting. So we've jumped in with both feet and have fun, and we enjoy what we get to do every day.
I believe you, and I love your videos. I've been inspired by you for a long time, but I think, man, you just inspire me a ton as a YouTuber, man. Like you've owned this space, and you're really good at it, dude. You're an entertaining dude. You're an entertaining dude, and you're having fun, man. And so much of this is about finding ways to have fun in this content. And I think just inspiring people to like point the camera at what you're up to too. Like just show what you're up to. Like you don't have to always prep this big video. If you're in the trenches, throw the camera, document, don't create. You don't have to be perfectly polished, because I don't think a lot of your videos started perfectly polished.
Oh no, they were horrible. I literally, I tell people all the time, my first videos that I really shot for this, I had a laptop and, you have no camera adjustment, like you saw me adjust my camera a while ago. Well, when I had my laptop, I'm literally sliding my office chair back to try to get framed up in the video the way that I wanted to be. And then I'm 6 or 8 feet from the computer. So I'm hollering at the computer so people could hear me. And that's really where I started. But along the way, just like anything else, and it's funny because I was in a class the other night teaching, and Freddie says, "Hey, Roger, look, I got a question. How do I grow on YouTube the way you did?" And I told him, I said, "Freddie, you've just got to get started. You've got to be consistent. You've got to be regular. You've got to," and he says, "Well, I don't have all this fancy equipment." It's like, either did I. But get started, get your name out there and be consistent. And, I think people in the trades understand all I did is I got a new set of tools and it was called YouTube. And I figured out how to use those tools. And any tradesperson can figure out how to use any tool. Sometimes it's stuff that we should, or with you in marketing, I don't want to figure all that out. But social media was easy for me to do. And it literally helped me. It helped me grow a brand. It helped me grow a business. It helped me sell a business. And now, I've been asked to speak on Dr. Phil, on the Today Show, on NewsNation with Chris Cuomo and Mike Rowe. I get to do all kinds of crazy stuff, and it's all from YouTube.
To me, you're like, first of all, Mike Rowe is dope. I'm so proud of you, Mike, and you're doing great things for the trades. You're basically like second most popular. Mike had traditional TV. It's a beast, and he's been around for a long time. I'm super grateful for him, but we just need more people like this, right? Like, we need more people in this vein, not to put anybody in competition, but like, we need more people spreading this. There's opportunity in the trades message. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really proud of you for everything you've done on that and everything you'll continue to do on that. And we can get into the real questions, not just the love fest here.
Okay. Hold on. No, because I like this. And I do. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So Mike Rowe has 1 million subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
I've only got 660,000. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Rowe has 96 million views. I only have 125 million views. And so I'm just saying, look, you're right. He had media. Everybody came over and followed him. And look, I love what Mike Rowe's doing. I am so happy that I can even tell people, look, I got to meet him. I got to shake his hand. And he's like, "How come I don't even know who you are?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I spent a lot of time on YouTube."
Yeah.
But what I love about this, and I think that the reason I do get the views that I do, is most of the kids these days, and I say kids, to me, you're a kid. Okay.
Okay.
Most of the kids these days spend time on social media watching. They're not on TV. They're not watching Dirty Jobs unless there's video clips on YouTube. So I think that's why we've been able to do so well. I don't try to be funny. I have people come up to me all the time and say, "Oh my God, you're hilarious." And it's like, man, I'm just me. And that's the one thing anybody can do on YouTube that nobody else can do, is just be themselves. There's somebody out there that's going to connect with them, like them, and want to watch them. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I think, just to touch on a few more YouTube things overarching, I think something I'm really working on is being more authentic and genuine, because I think it is easy to, when you flip on that camera, to change up. Mm-hmm. Just because it's like, oh, we're practiced. Like you're going into a job interview and you start to be a little overly formal, or you're trying to be a character. And certainly we bring energy, right? Like there's, you want to be your best self on video. You want to create energy, but it can be authentic and it can be inauthentic. And I think something I'm working on, I think you're good at, you're a pretty authentic dude. And I think that's why people resonate with you so much. And I think that's something, it takes a while though. Like for me, it's taken a little bit of work to just like let down the like airs. And I'm always kind of marketing something, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of letting off that and just being like, you know what? Maybe people could like me just for me, even though I'm not trying to be a character. I'm not trying to be Roger Wakefield or, like that's a challenge sometimes for people when they get into YouTube, is like maybe you're covering up a little bit with a character.
And I love that, because the very first conference I ever got to speak at was VidCon out in Anaheim. And I you know me, when I speak at a conference, I'm there the whole time. I want to learn. I want to see it. I want to see what's going on. I'm normally in sessions taking notes on the front row. I'm still a student. I still learn. And I'm at VidCon. I was asked to be there by LinkedIn. And at the end, there were a few of us there, and we did this meet and greet. So we were shaking hands, taking pictures, all kinds of fun stuff. And I noticed this guy in my line kept telling people, yeah, y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead. And he was the last one up there. And he came up and he said, Roger, I don't think you remember me, but, and I said, no, me and you talked in the hallway 2 days ago. He said, yeah. He said, look, I just watched you on stage. I talked to you in the hall the other day, and I've watched all your videos. You're the exact same person everywhere. And Tim, I just started laughing. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot even imagine me trying to be somebody else. I just want to be me. I can do that better than anybody in the world. And whenever I teach people how to do YouTube, that's why I tell them is, look, just be you. Now, I may need to turn the energy up. Sometimes people laugh at me if we're in here to do a video. And as soon as we hit record, I'm like, hey, everybody, this is Roger. Here we go. You know, you've got to get that hook in the beginning. But then after about 10, 20 seconds, it's back down to me. Let's go. Yeah. And it really is. It's a good way to do it.
So Rilla allows you to listen to, it's an AI in your pocket, listens to the appointment. It's pretty crazy what it can do. It gives a script, gives everything they said, it breaks down some statistics for you.
Analyze talk ratio, interactivity, like how you and I are interacting back and forth, longest modeling, like all those things.
This is the shit that I most believe in AI. You know what I mean?
Enhancing the
You're
user
about to put
experience.
math and data around something that used to be my magic skill.
Let's get into these questions about lead generation on YouTube.
My
What kind of
favorite
video?
subject.
Good, because I mean, it's beautiful because you don't need a marketing agency to do YouTube. You don't need a marketing agency to turn the camera around, put videos on Facebook. But like a lot of times people don't know what could create a lead. But you've done so many videos that I'm pretty sure you know what kind of videos have generated the most leads for you.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite ones that really I didn't think that it would. But if you know Marcus Sheridan, or if you've ever heard of him, the sales line, phenomenal, good friend of mine.
He's a client of ours, by the way.
I love it.
He's badass. I love
you
the
need
dude.
to send him a message and say, hey, Roger gave you his number. You need to call him.
All right.
Because I'm wanting to do something with him.
Okay.
But, you know, I'm at Marcus at Social Media Marketing World, and we talked. And then the next year I'm sitting there with Michael Stelzner, the founder, and Marcus is like, hey, why hadn't Roger spoken on a stage here? So me and Marcus, we get along really good. But I made a video based on one that he did. And the video was, I'm not the cheapest plumber in town. Don't call me. Okay. And we literally, one of the things that we specialized in is slab leaks and leak detection. And, you know, that's why we do the whole Leak Pro thing and all that. But that and then water filtration. Well, in Texas, when you find a leak under a house, you tunnel down, you dig a hole, and then you tunnel over to the leak and fix it. Now, that scares the heck out of a lot of people. But if you do it and you do it right, there's no foundation problems. There's no problems to the house. You fix the repair. It's non-destructive, so you're not inside the house jackhammering up the floor and tearing things up. But Amber told me whenever I was headed out, she said, Roger, the homeowner is there. He wants to meet you. And I get that a lot. So it's pretty cool. So I said, okay, that's fine. So I get over there and I meet him. And actually I'm up under the house. And when I come climbing out and raise up, he's standing there. So I climb up and talk to him. He said, do you mind if I tell you why I hired you? I said, no, I'd love to hear that. He said, Roger, you made a video talking about you're not the cheapest plumber in town. I said, yes, sir. He said, and you're not. He said, I called a lot of people and got a lot of prices. And then I saw your video. And I really thought that I wanted the cheapest plumber. He said, Roger, I watched that video 5 times. He said, but when you talked about you use the best equipment, you have the best trained men, You don't skimp. You don't take shortcuts. And you don't know what kind of shortcuts the other people take to be cheaper. He said, I knew I had to hire you. He said, and you're not the cheapest. And in the video, I think I say, look, I'm not the cheapest plumber in town. Matter of fact, I'm probably closer to the more expensive because of the way we do things. And I also say in that video, look, if you want the cheapest guy in town, call me. I'll give you his number. But then you're going to call me back later to fix it. And it's going to probably cost you double because I'm going to have to take out what he did wrong and then put it all back in again right. And he just sat there. He said, Roger, after watching that video 5 times, I knew I needed to call you. And he hired us. And we're not the cheapest. And he did. This was a lot of tunneling. I think our price was about $15,000 more than the other guys. But I use stainless steel rod. I use stainless steel hangers. I use stainless steel nuts and washers. We have the best trained people. We get everything inspected. We test the entire house. We don't just test the work that we did. But we do put in T. So if you don't want to get anything else fixed, we can just get inspected what we did. And I go through all this and explain to them why we do it. And Tim, I remember walking out of the office one day and Amber, my CSR at the time, now she's my assistant. She's sitting at the desk and I'm headed out to go talk to one of the plumbers. And she says, Roger, we got 3 tunnel jobs today off YouTube. And I looked at her. I said, okay, number one, we didn't get 3 tunnel jobs. Not today. It's like 9 a.m. She said, wait a minute. She said, we got the 3 jobs last week. We've already had the plumbers go out and do the locations. We've already had the dig crews go dig. One of the jobs you're going on is one of them. We've got 3 different plumbers out going up under 3 different houses today to make repairs. Tim, those 3 jobs added up pretty close to $100,000 off YouTube.
Incredible.
Off of a video I made on YouTube that Google still pays me for people watching every day.
Yeah.
It's not a bad gig.
That's a really good gig. For the people that are just getting into this, how do you structure a video when your goal is to get someone to take action? Do you ask for people to contact you at the end of the video? Or does it naturally pull them in? How does that work?
I think it naturally pulls them in. In the beginning, I didn't even know what a call to action was. Had no idea. So I never said, hey guys, look, if you need me, give me a call. Here's my phone number, anything like that. But in the beginning, I had a banner on the wall up behind me that had the Texas Green Plumbing logo, had the website and the phone number.
Yes.
And never thought about it. But we would get calls from around the country saying, hey, I'm in North Carolina. I need Roger to come do a slab leak. It's like, I don't think you can afford him, but if you really want him, we can do it. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. But
yeah,
later I started, every now and then I'd say something like, I'm Roger Wakefield with Texas Green Plumbing, saving you 1 drop at a time. We'd have our little tagline in there that I do when I go networking. But really, even to today, I'm not good at call to actions. It's just something, look, if you like what I'm doing, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, okay.
What platform or format seems to bring in the most qualified leads from video? I'm guessing you put out videos on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that too. I'm guessing YouTube's your favorite platform. Is there any other platforms you like for bringing in leads?
YouTube is my favorite, but there's the main reason, Tim, is I can make a long form video on YouTube and then we can clip it and repurpose it to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, X, wherever we want to go. We can put these little shorts there. And when we do that, we try to put a link back to the video, but sometimes we do shoot things just for TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or something like that. Normally not though. Normally, pretty much all we shoot is YouTube because we know we can cut it and repurpose it and share it everywhere else. So that would be the only reason that's my favorite. My second reason for it would be that it's a search engine and people don't think about that. So if I were wanting to be the tankless water heater person in Charlotte, I'd make videos about tankless water heater replacement, Charlotte, North Carolina. Tankless water heater flush, Charlotte, North Carolina. I would make videos like that. So when people started searching, they'd find me.
And what's cool about that is now YouTube is putting the videos on this onto Google, like Google search results page, and now have YouTube on there. So
I know.
and the clips, the shorts, and so you could be in 3 places, you could be in 5 places, right? Because if you were ranking in the organic section, because you know, having videos embedded on your website is really, really good too, right?
Oh yeah, we put them in our blog. That's what's helping us explode right now.
It increases the time on the website, and that's a signal to Google that your website is valuable. If they're tracking the click-through rate and then they're staying on the website longer before they go back to the search result page, it says, hey, this is a quality website. And that helps all the pages on your website. So video embeds towards the top of the blog post or towards the top of the page are really, really good for your normal SEO. And then as you try to get in more spots on Google, because we're just trying to get we want to be in all the spots, right?
Absolutely. I want all 20 on the front page.
Yeah. There's so
or all 10.
We got the LSA, we got the maps, we got the Google ad, we got the organic, but now we've got these 2 more slots that you can hit. And don't even get me started. I mean, it will.
And I think it's 3 slots now, Tim.
Oh,
for
really?
Video. Yeah.
Really? See, this is crazy. So this is like the last few years, it's just gone up and up and up. And if you're listening to this long into the future, who knows what's going on? But obviously it's going towards video and more video on everything, because if you can fake stuff with AI in certain ways, it's hard to fake it with video. And like, no offense, I'm not going to sit there and watch 10 faceless videos on YouTube in a row. Like, human beings connecting with human beings. And so there's going to be other AI advances, but the authentic part of content is shining through right now on YouTube, on Google as well as YouTube.
Okay. But you know, I'm an entrepreneur now.
Yeah.
I'm working with a lady in Vegas, and you need to put your number in the chat. And I'll write it down here, because I don't think I have your cell phone number.
Yeah.
But when we're done, I'll send you this video. She's taken like 5 or 6 different AI softwares, tied the APIs together where they talk to each other and do different things. And I shot a video for her. Then I sent it to her. And she can literally make a video of me doing or saying anything in about 20 different languages.
Really?
It is crazy.
Wow. Dude, it's going so quick. It's scary. So that's why I don't want to.
Many homes suffer from inefficient HVAC systems due to leaky ducts, leading to uneven room temps, lost airflow, and higher energy costs. AeroSeal's innovative sealant technology targets and repairs leaks, improving airflow and efficiency. Increase your customer satisfaction, increase sales, and offer a unique market advantage. Become a leader in HVAC efficiency. AeroSeal.com.
I'm trying to not talk about AI. Like, I always talk about AI on social media, right? And like, they're all so cool. But in 2 years, I'm trying to make something evergreen. And like, we could talk about it for a little while. I'll just edit it out of the book part. But I'm like, what I'm trying to do, you know how underneath it all, like when you really understand marketing and what's good, you wield AI better. When you understand how to tap into hearts and minds and really like connect with humans, right? Like, then you can wield that tool better. But if you didn't understand marketing at all, and no matter how good these tools will get, you're not going to be as good at storytelling and certain things. So everything on this book that I'm working on is really about the heart part of marketing and the feelings and emotions that we're trying to create, so that you can use whatever tools you want to try to create that better, right? But so much of marketing has gotten, basically everyone's talking about AI, but the problem is in 3 years, the tools will be totally different. They'll be better and cooler. They're going to be so much cooler and better than anything we have now. So I'm trying to almost get to like the fundamental, like psychological principles of marketing in what I'm working on now, so that anyone can wield those. Because I use AI like 25 times a day. So I'm like, I'm all in. I'm using it for like clips
You're
over
losing
reel.
if you don't. You're losing if you don't.
And like Sora for like B-roll on reels and every single tool I can get my hands on. I just know that they're going to be so different, and I'm trying to make a evergreen kind of piece of content. So that's why I'm not talking about the tools as much, but it is so crazy how quick it's going. And so I absolutely love talking about AI.
Well, here's the funny thing, Tim, and I sent you that little video.
Yeah.
But a lot of marketing companies are looking at what worked from 2000 to 2025. Yeah. I'm looking at what are we going to be doing from 2025 to 2030.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be. And a lot of it is AI. A lot of it is the stuff like this video I sent you. And I'm starting to work these videos into my sponsorship packages because I've got people that want me to do stuff.
Yeah. Let me see if I can share my screen for a second for the people watching this. So if you're watching.
El comerciante rico. ¿Por qué necesita unirse a la clase magistral el comerciante rico? Mi misión con esta clase magistral es transformar sus ambiciones en realidad, convertir sus habilidades en acción y luego crear un éxito real.
Hey.
Now the volume's not there. I can't hear very loud, but that's Roger in Spanish.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
And Tim, I never shot that video. I don't speak Spanish that good. Mi español is muy good looking.
Yeah. What's the plumber Espanol guy that's really big in Mexico? I'm trying to remember that guy. What is that guy's name?
I don't know, but I've got a channel in Spanish. It's Roger Wakefield in Espanol.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just talking to somebody at AHR that is a plumbing guy that's big. I'm looking for him now really quick. There's such a rich community. Like obviously there's so much opportunity in doing bilingual and so many people that are probably thirsty for this content. Mm-hmm. Electrico Plumero is the guy's name, or his account name. He'd be a great guy to connect with on the Espanol side. His channel is huge, and yeah, he has 3.5 million followers on Facebook. Edgar Electrico Plumero. So there's just, and I didn't even like for some reason when we're like English speaking and in America, we don't see the opportunity sometimes in these other markets, and these other people are so thirsty for this content. And yeah, so that's a really positive development, man. I'm really excited for you.
Here's what I like too about this whole thing is I now have multi-channel or multi-language on my channel. So now every video that we do, we can have YouTube put it in 5 or 10 different languages. That's
super cool.
Yeah.
I love that. The market is, just exponentially bigger at that point.
Mm-hmm.
How did you track and attribute leads from organic video content? Like as Texas Green Plumbing, for instance, was gaining steam and starting to get these leads. Did you have like hey, how many leads did we get from YouTube this week or this month? Did you have that number tracked, or how did you kind of track what was working?
Yeah, we tracked all our KPIs. So every call that came in, we always ask people, how did you hear about us? And I mean, there's some weeks that it's like 3 or 4 of the calls came from YouTube. And when you figure, Tim, that Google's paying me to make these videos and people are calling the plumbing company because of these videos, I mean, you went on multiple levels.
Yeah.
And you talked about you being at AHR. Well, I went to WET. And literally, when Randy and I were walking down the hallway, when we first walked in, this guy came up and said, "Man, I just got to tell you, thank you." I said, "Okay, well, what for?" He says, I was watching your videos and you talked about all of us should be making videos. He says, so I started making videos. And just last Sunday, my wife went to church and a lady came up to her and says, "Oh my God, your husband's a plumber, isn't he?" And she's like, "Yeah, how do you know?" She says, "I saw his video." And he said, "Roger, we're starting to get calls off this stuff." and Tim, it works. It really does.
Yeah. I love that. Just at least ask. And then as there's different, you got House Call Pro, and you got Service Titan. You got all these different options for Jobber, things that will allow you to track naturally as leads come in. What's something contractors should include in every lead focus video? Like, what are things that you think people might not be doing that they should be doing to get more leads?
I think they should be talking about why they do it better than anybody else. And whenever I teach people about YouTube, it's always, have your storyline, have your hook, have your introduction, have a story that you can tell them. But in that story, mention, why this is important to you. And I went in for plumbers continuing education when we first started doing it, I guess. And the instructor was down front, and he was talking to one of the guys in there, one of the plumbers, and he said, our children and our grandchildren are not going to have access to water the way we do. And I started watching, and he's like, we're going to have to start regulating water. We're going to have to do this. We're going to have to do this. We're going to have to do this. And I started looking at how fast the population is growing, and Tim, there's no more water here. This is all we get. And the funny thing about it is, from hearing that, I started looking at, as a plumber, how can I help prevent this? Green Plumbers USA in Australia, or Green Plumbers in Australia, had just moved to the United States. I joined Green Plumbers USA, got certified as a green plumber, became a lead AP, building energy's lead is leadership in energy and environmental design. And it's a national certification, and really it's for architects and engineers. And even when I went to ask the vice president of the company that I worked for if I could become one, he said, no. He said, Roger, I got engineers that can't pass that exam. It's hard. But I went ahead and did it. And at the time when I passed, I was one of only 2 plumbers in the world that I knew that were lead APs. But it's what becomes important. So that became part of my story. Why is leak detection a big deal to me? Why is water filtration a big deal to me? The quality of the water and not wasting it became cornerstones that we built a company on. And when you can talk about things like that, those aren't things most plumbing companies are talking about. So let them know why you do what you do, why it's important to you, and why you care as much as you do, and why you want to do that better than anybody else. And you can talk about that in almost every video that you do.
It's so good, Roger. That's the real secret sauce right there. Thank you for being on.
Dude, I teach this to everybody. I'm not going to be the only one doing this.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to come along, Tim, that's better than me and blows me out of the water. I'm like, they're doing exactly what I said.
Yeah, exactly. And I learned, I'm not going to lie. I since you were on the show, we were talking about, like, I don't know, a couple times ago that you're on our channel, and you said, get hyper focused on thumbnails and titles. And I started to I do it. That's different. Sometimes with different people, I soak it up and I really try to really apply. And so we've gotten so much better. We've got videos that, I'm not trying to diminish anything, but not to your level, but in the 50 to 100,000 view range because of these thumbnails and a lot more work that we put in, right? We put in more work into these videos. So as time goes on, you start to see the opportunity. And then I'm spending days or 3 days editing or, and wielding other people and spending money on this, but you start to see how much opportunity is. And so now we have, 5, 6, I guess, I think the average right now is like 3 to some leads a week. And this is like, our leads are expensive normally. So like if I go into Google, like a lead for me is like $500.
Yeah,
so
a lead for plumbers in Dallas is about $150 a click.
And so think about, if I can get 3 leads a week from YouTube, that's worth $1,500 to me. And if I can get one customer, right, like a cost of acquisition for me could be up to like $7,000 for me. So that's like, yeah.
So when I teach this,
yeah,
I always break it down. Like if I'm going to take on something new, I need to make $1 million a year at it. Okay. So I will take $1 million, divide it by whatever price there is. And so say you take $1 million, you divide it by 1,000. All right.
Yep.
I've got to sell 100 of those to make $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So to sell 100 of those, you take that number down and you extrapolate it out. To get in front or to sell 100, I've got to have 1,000 people convert. I've got to have 10,000 views. Because if I can get 10,000 views, 10% of those should convert if my call to action is good, if it's strong, if my message is good, if my story's good, if the video does what it's supposed to do, I should get a 10% call. Okay. Just call in the office. So you take that and say, okay, if I get 10,000 views and 1,000 people, 10% call the office and 10% buy it, there's 100 new customers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the math. It's look, people converted a 10% close rate pretty easy.
Yeah.
Make a good video with a strong call to action and you can do this. And if you go back up, now you got those 100 people that converted, say it's for a tankless flush and you charge $500 for that, or you charge $1,000 for that, because I use different numbers this time. Say it was something that you charge $1,000 for. There's you an extra $1 million a year.
I like the way of thinking that too. And I generally think like, because you only get so many focuses in marketing, like it's hard to do 10 things well, right?
Oh, yeah.
But you could probably do 5. I mean, like without a huge staff, you could probably run 5 with either vendors or like, or like help internally, like get somebody on that can do a couple. Like you can't get, it's hard to get somebody that does 10 things well, but you can get somebody that does a couple and then run 5. Like, so if you're trying to add 5 million, you know, like, but instead of being like, it's okay if this lead source only gets like $100,000, it's hard to scale if you have like, you can't do so many things that only have $100,000 opportunity. So like really trying to make sure if you're doing something, there's the opportunity to get $1 million.
But if you package, if they're similar, you're trying to sell the same thing, Tim, you package 10 of them together in a playlist on YouTube.
Yeah.
And if each one of them can bring in $100,000, there's your extra $1 million a year.
There you go. And, you know, YouTube takes work. I mean, like all these things take work. Social media takes work. But like, and I was trying to help a group of people this morning that I was talking on a call, a mastermind call. And I was like, you know, it's like early people on social and video that don't really know what the opportunity is yet. And it's like, okay, so don't just YOLO your entire life into this yet. Try it. I think of it as experiments. Use it to complement what you're already doing. So like video the thing that you're already doing and send it to the homeowner, you know, and then maybe just turn some of those inside out and share them with the rest of the world. So it's like, do it alongside what you're already doing, document, don't create, and then use it for like sales and for like homeowner communication. And then sometimes just flip it out to the rest of the world, because then you're not like doing this whole new crazy thing that you just have no confidence in yet. You'll start to do those experiments and some of them will hit because people love behind the scenes content. So if it feels behind the scenes, that's okay for a while. And then if you start to feel some of that momentum, then just push more effort into it.
You know, and if you think about it like this, Tim, when I'm coaching people on YouTube, it is shoot 7 videos that bring nothing but value. You're not trying to sell anything. You can have a free giveaway or something, but you're not trying to sell anything. Just teach them how to fix a running toilet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Make 2 videos talking about something you specialize in that you're good at, which to me would be slab leaks, slab leak detection, slab leak repair, or whole house water filtration systems. Okay. And I can make 2 videos about that. And in that, I could have those 2, I could have a call to action, say, hey, if you want to find out more about it, you know, go here or check this out, or let us test your water, or whatever it is. And then you can have 1 video out of these 10 that is, look, I want to tell you about a customer where you're really trying to sell something. Look, I want to tell you about a customer that I taught to do YouTube. He's a self-publishing book writer. He has only made about 40 videos, but he sells about 10 or 12 books a year off YouTube, which is an extra $60,000 a year just from making a few videos. So you make a video like that, and now 1 out of 10 is it's a pitch video. You're pitching your product. You're pitching what you do. The other 2, the water filtration and slab leak, you're making people aware. Look, I specialize in things other people don't. So if you want to talk to us, feel free to give us a call. The other 7 videos are just nothing but value. How do you change a flapper on a toilet? It's really easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh, I agree 100%. Yeah, I think even like, looking back on Gary Vee's original, like, he talks about the jab, jab, right hook, right?
Yep.
I think it's a little bit more jabs these days.
Oh, yeah, it is.
But you can't be, I think I'm a little bit afraid to right hook sometimes. Like, you still do want to ask for business. And I think that, like, if we're not good at, a lot of people are too good at that. They're always asking for business, always asking for business, and it just gets overwhelming. But I think some other people could occasionally, like me, I could get a little bit better about, all right, ask,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we can all get better at that, but it takes practice.
Yeah. Well, Roger, thank you for your time today. Thank you for being on. Where can people check you out?
The best thing to do is probably find me on LinkedIn. People that reach out to me on LinkedIn, I connect with. LinkedIn is the one that I check myself. You can watch me on YouTube at Roger Wakefield Plumbing Education, or you can check out our new YouTube channel, The Trade Talks Live. And we go live every day at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. That way tradespeople across the country can actually, and believe it or not, we got more people than that watching us, but tradespeople can jump in on their lunch break and listen to us talk about all kinds of different things in the trades for an hour straight. So it really is. It's pretty good. Awesome,
man. Thank you.
Tim, thank you. I love it. Like I said in the beginning, I love what you're doing. I think what you're doing for tradespeople, companies, man, you've always been straight up. You've always been legit. So thank you for everything you do.
Absolutely. The podcast is put on by hookagency.com, Hook Agency all over social media. Appreciate you for watching. See ya.